SNA Assassinators. I'm back here in the next 30 seconds. Sorry, there was a 10-second delay onto the podcast of AEW Rampage on November 22nd. Yeah. Okay, you won't get your burrito. I get it. Okay, I will. Like, you don't have to get in too much in the details. Just what you're gonna be eating it, but okay. All right, Assassinators. I'll start things off with. Start things off with the tag team match. Well, before I get into that, I want to throw out some honorable mention predictions before I talk about the prediction segment, which I'm going to be doing in the next, I'll say, probably half hour to an hour. And I'm going to give out to the Big Boom AJ against QT Marshall and Deonna Purrazzo versus Anna Jay. That was announced well, it was already been announced for like a month now, back in October, in the middle of October, between Big Boom AJ against QT Marshall. But tonight they announced that it would be Anna Jay against Deonna Purrazzo. I think I'm not sure why they did this match as a 0 hour, but I will give Big Boom AJ. Why not? Because he's a big time celebrity in the internet world. So I'll give him the W right here predicting. And I'll say Anna Jay, since she lost to Mariah May, I would say they're probably going to try to rebuild herself up. And what will be a better way to recollect her momentum and to get a win, when the starting program with Deonna Purrazzo, even though she don't need the Virtuosa do not need to take her L at this time with this new gimmick change of being the insurance agent, I guess you could say. I'm just kidding. The point is this new, I'll say, hit woman kind of gimmick with Taya Valkyrie, but Anna Jay needs to win much more than she does. So it's good, and it's besides the 0 hour, so it's not going to be anything. It's not like nobody's going to lose some credibility anyway. So I'm gonna give the prediction to Anna Jay to get the win as well. But this is where we got the tag team match between Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May against Harley Cameron and Nyla Rose, which started out with the Stardom wrestler and the former AEW Women's Champion. With Mina, they was trying to get ready to grapple, but this is where we got Nyla Rose and turned to a female Goliath, with her raising her hand, trying to poke fun of Mina by pointing out and poking fun at her by being so short. This is where I raised my hand. This is where where she tried to reach it. She was almost there until Nyla Rose went to the left side. This is where she tried to go for the left hand, but this is where she moved it back to the right. This is where she started playing the game of go a high five or too slow kind of game. But this is where they start turning into this little shimmy dance Mina loved doing, which I was it's gone bad person. This is where we got the commentators that describe it as diverted. I was like, yeah, right, more likely perverted. This is where we got this is where they start doing that dance, but this is where we got Mina Shirakawa. All right, no time to be goofy, which where she kicks her right into the gut. This is where she runs right to the top of the robot. Finally, they're taking it seriously. But this is where then we got run to the bottom. So this is where she gets stopped when she got try to go for a crossbody. This is where she tried to get a snake on by up in the upper right corner side. This is where we got Mina foot right out of it. She went right on her knees, started doing her dance. This is where this is the only time I think Nyla Rose when she super kicked Mina right to the face, knocking her right into the right side corner. But this is where we got Nyla that picks up the Stardom Women's Star. This is where she body slams her. This is where she was like, yeah, this is where you belong. This is where we got what's the Harley Cameron you're not quite done, Nyla, do one more, for good measure. This is where she's and right after that, G asked Nyla, can she gets tagged in? This is where we got Nyla Rose that first ignored her, because this is where she runs right to the right side. It looked like she was about to ignore her altogether. But if it wasn't for Harley Cameron going for a tag herself, and making what's that called? Trying to take matters into her own hands. She would have probably still be the legal woman. This is where Harley Cameron's hello, I want to get tagged in. I ask you, and this is where we got Nyla Rose continue to ignore that question by saying, what is the matter with you? Can't you see I was in the middle of something? This is where Harley Cameron's but I want to get tagged in. Like besides, you should have still could have done your maneuver. I would have just pinned her. Just where like she did not get a chance to do that because Nyla Rose did the move that she was trying to do before she got tagged in. Got tagged out. Let me afraid not in out for her sake. Like this is where Harley Cameron tried to go run up Mina Shirakawa, but Mina smartly grab onto on her head, go for a guillotine kind of maneuver. This is where she turned her around. This is where she hit her with a back kick. This is where then she grab onto the head of Harley. This is where she went to the right side. This is where Cameron just slide ducks. This is where she went to the left side. This is where Mina Shirakawa try to outsmart her, run to the left side. This is where she goes for what's that called? Go for what they call a flying head scissor. This is where we got Mina Shirakawa like, yeah, and that's how I get it done, like kind of gesture. This is where she's trying to go for a cover, but this is where we got Harley Cameron kicking out of it at one. This is where we got her on her face first, right to the upper left side. She tags in Mariah May. This is where she hits a single chop. This is where she was like, that's all that needs to be done. This is where she was like, no, I think she needs more and more chops. This is where she started licking her hands, which that was very disgusting. Like, especially with her slapping it right onto Mariah's cleavage. This is where Harley's cleavage, like which I just made the huge mix-up right there. But it's where we got Mariah made the spin around Harley right to the middle of the ring, sidewalk slamming her in the process. This is where she goes for a pin, but this is where we got. This is where she's trying to go for a pin, but this is where we got This is where we got. This is where we got Nyla Rose. Then try to go for the save, but this is where we got Harley Cameron. Like no, like she kicked out. Like let Nyla Rose come in so she won't meddle. This is where we got Mariah May. The tags in being back in the ring. This is where we got the. This is where we got the party animal and the glamour double Irish whipped. I'll say the much in Renee Paquette's say she called the most annoying. But like now, like seeing her from the past week, I don't think she's much obnoxious than any of the other women's wrestlers that I see. Which is, I'll say not obnoxious. I'm not sure if that's the right term to put. More likely, frightening and disturbing. That's the word I was probably looking for earlier. But I'm gonna say it right now. But this is where we got both women that tripped her over. This is where we got both women hit a double drop kick. This is where they start doing a double shimmy, like if their time was Tony Storm, like if they never left her. I was like, yeah, how frightening. Like can you put them away? Like Jerry Lawler's not here tonight, so there's no point of showing some puppies like that came from y'all's TITs. Like if they're not needed, I don't think they're ever gonna be needed. Yeah, like I'm just saying, at least in this business, in professional wrestling, like I don't think they're gonna be needed. Like, and that won't be necessary to continue to show them off, even though they didn't. Luckily, they got. But this is where we got Nyla Rose didn't try to do something sickening, which I refuse not to say that. Like, well, like one, it's frightening, and two, it's offensive. But this is where she try to put their face together, try to lock I'll say the voice devices, I guess you could say. This is where like they decided they're like, you don't tell us what to do. Like we don't do that unless we want to. This is where they kicked her right in the gut, send Nyla right into the Harley. Well, not exactly the Harley, but like right beside her. This is where they go for the much more safer version of the baseball slide kick, because they stopped once they fell right into the apron. They just kicked her so they won't fall right onto the ground. Maybe that was the most smart and safest thing they did on them during the match, of course. But this is where they start looking at each other like, and if I was not mistaken, if I didn't know better, I would think that they were fantasizing with one another. Like, and that was very disturbing and I'll say and very uncomfortably disturbing, and at that, like for just explaining that, like it is where it was like, yeah, like. That's where they look like they're complimenting each other with their eyes, looking like a couple of 18-plus anime females. This is where we got. This is where we got both Mina and Mariah. Then get back to the post. This is where we got. It was Mina and Harley Cameron that were the legal women. This is where it was the picture-in-picture break, which is the partial most powerful force in all professional wrestling. This is where we got, Mina Shirakawa that was in comeback with Harley until we got until we got Nyla coming for the save. She gets the roundhouse kick. This is where we got Mina Shirkow hit an elbow strike right to the face onto the Harley running right to the left side. This is where we got Mina Shirkow comes over Nyla Rose, try to go for a sideways figure four. This is where we got Harley Campside coming to save her temporary partner. This is where she dodges out of the way, goes for a flat DDT. Right onto landed right onto on Nyla Rose's leg. She was like, like that was the most painful that I have experienced in my I don't know when long career in the wrestling business. But this is where we got Mina tags in Mariah, and this is where she hits the mental drop kick. This is where we got Harley Cameron trying to take the easy way out by going right behind her, rolling her up into a schoolgirl, which is the most devastating move, and all the professional wrestling the surprise roll up. But this is where we got Harley going gets unfortunately denied with a 2.8 count. This is where she also gets added on top of that with a knee strike right into the face. This is where we saw Mariah get herself right back up. This is where she made Harley Cameron go right to the corner. This is where she goes for like electric chair position while Mina Shirokow's like, yeah, let's go. And then this is where she, I believe, tagged in Harley, if I'm not mistaken. I thought Harley, Mariah May. This is where she goes for running Bulldog or Doomsdog Bulldog face put. No, I don't think she did tag her in because like once she hit the Bulldog, Mariah for the pin instead of Mina, and she got the 1, 2, 3, and they did a little bit of a preview celebration, even though it's not AEW full gear yet, but it's 24 hours from now. But they got their hands raised. This is where they saw a hype video of the. And as much as I like to say his nickname so badly, but I got my nephew and the nephew friend here, so I have to say it in the initials phrase by saying biscuit, iced tea, chicken hotcakes, man, which is Kazuchika Okada, the man that thinks he can control the rain with his Rainmaker nickname, which I think he's nothing but a fraud. But anyways, this is where we got Okada. And this is where it's like and this is where he starts trying to mock a certain ring general that's in the other company that by saying I'm the master of this very sport, which I don't think so. Like I'd rather think that guy over the other company is more than this guy is. This is where then he added by saying that he's the champion for a reason, and then he's gonna be competing at the Continental Classic tournament. Of course he will, because he is the Continental champion after all. And if he can't defend that title, then he's gonna be given the pink slip, which I wish that did happen. No, I'm just kidding. Not that. I would never wish somebody lose their job. I'm just being an idiot right now. But but I hope that somebody does be the one to dethrone him, whoever wins this tournament. Which some say that the speedball Mike Bailey could be competing in this match. And I sure hope he does, and I hope that he does be the one to dethrone him. That would be the best way to debut the guy in AEW is to win all his matches in the Continental Classic, get the #1 advantage into the tournament until they get to the semifinals, and then fight Okada for the Continental Championship at World's End, where the homeless man, the Hurricanes, probably watching in the nosebleed seats because he do not want to see that ugly muck, and I don't really blame the guy because they will be in his hometown in Orlando, and him watching it in this little. What's that typhoon ride? I guess you always ride on the other company over on the Tuesday night show, like when he's invited by the five-time world champion, over at the company that's been bought out by the other company that AEW's competing against. That's a very, very different day. But who do you think is going to be competing at the Continental Classic? Besides, I say, other than Kazuchika and Mike, do you think it's going to be? Any returns or other debuts besides Mike Bailey? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. That will be very interesting to talk about, which we will be talking about on the post show after AEW Full Gear. They're going to be in Chicago on Thanksgiving Eve. We're moving on. We got let's see who fought next. It was more likely more likely like checking the weight of these competitors who's gonna be fighting in 0 hour, which is QT Marshall and Big Boom AJ. Yeah, that's what his name is. Here's where we got both men out with the announcement by Lexi Nair. This is where then Big Boom AJ decided before we do this this little weight competition, like we want to bring in something like real special. And I was like, I wonder who's gonna be this special guy. And that's where he's like, well, like I need somebody that's gonna be a special bell keeper of our match while I bring your bell, QT. And that's when I start dying with laughter. I was like, even though I don't really know much about this guy, but he does have a personality. I gotta admit, and he's getting the gold. He's gonna get the golden trophy of Goofy Wrestling, like for that. And this is where we got. And this is where he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be bashing your skull, and Mr. Marshall. This is where he's like, and this is where Marshall's like, what's that supposed to mean? And yeah, I see, yeah. I know it's almost landed right onto your little car right here. Yeah, and this one, then we got Big Boom. It was like, yeah, and there'll be nobody. I know, I see you did it backwards. But anyways, like, there's nobody that's gonna be a better wrestler. This where the Matt Menard was like, yeah, he said it, and like Matt Menard was like so much enthusiasm. Like it's either that or maybe I'm not getting this like right here, like. Or something like that. Like, let me know in the comments below, Assassinators, if what's not kicking in for me. Like, is it just me, or is it just that it's not very catchy? Like, if that part, like, for Matt Menard being so enthusiastic for him to say that. But yeah, this I gotta admit, the guy do have some character and personality. Like, that's one thing I'll give him. But this is where we got QT Marshall to show out his guns, which I got admit he's been working out. And yeah, I mean, like I wonder who he trains with. Like, yeah, it's none other than the American Nightmare, of course, which we just talked about him on the other show. But so of course he's gonna be having some guns, yeah. But anyways, this is where we got QT then step up on the scale. Like this is where he then. This is where like he weighed, like I'm trying to remember by particular, it was like a little bit over 220 pounds. It was like 229 pounds to be the exact. But this is where we got what's his name then step up on the scale. This is where it malfunctioned for some weird reason. Like this is where it was over 500 pounds, like 500 and I'll say 50 to be the exact, which we all knew this was a lot because this guy may be putting on some pounds, but not too many pounds. Like, it is where we got QT Marshall that made a comment. This is where Lexi Nair, when she announced that he weighs 550 pounds, I was like, damn, like, he's not, it's not like he's, like, you should know, like, QT, like, the guy that you gave his debut match to, like, he did, like he doesn't weigh like as much as like the guy that you gave his debut match to that used to have that much pounds. Oh no, don't say that. But anyways, this is where we got I was like, you should know, like he's not like way more than like the same guy that you gave his first AEW match to, like which he's now in Gorilla, which he's now like it's the backstage area where they on the headset with the boss. But anyways, this is where we got where that's what now back to insulting any aquatic animals. I want to get back to like him, QT Marshall by poking fun at AJ by saying like maybe you should lay off the what he's today. He's like, I can see why I got, but right before he said that, he said that's why they call you. And now I see why they call you Big Boom AJ. And it is where he's like, yeah, maybe you should lay off the chocolate something, like maybe like I believe we talking about the chocolate Twinkies, but luckily his son interrupted him saying like, oh boy, what you need to do in the QT like is to not cheat, and we all know that you rigged this contest, and yeah, that was very true because this is where the fans start cheering along. This is where he was like, yeah, like you rigged this stand, like yeah, like we're not gonna fall for that sugar honey iced tea. Well, he did not say the actual bad word, but yeah, we all know what I'm trying to say, but he's like, we're not gonna fall for your mess because he's underage, so he's not gonna be saying the swear words just like the adults. But this is where we got. It is where it's like, yeah, like this, like. But yeah, like we all like you all know you're too scared for Saturday night, isn't that right, T? He was like, yeah. And this is where QT Marshall was denying him, like, no, like this is where then QT Marshall, like, I'm not scared of you. Like I'm sure they're not. Like, I'm sure not scared of somebody that weighs more than that 7-foot whale that's with Anthony Khan right now. This is where then. Or even way more than how he used to weigh, like when he was over at the other company when he weighed over 500 pounds. But this is where QT Marshall didn't look like he was about to leave the ring, but this is where he tried to hit the right hand. But this is where Big Boom AJ to show him what he's made of by hitting the big right hand after blocking his blow. This is where he said, like, don't underestimate me when he hit him with that strike. This is where we got. This is where we got Big Boom AJ trying to follow that up with hitting him with his finisher. I'm not sure what it was, but before he can even get a chance to attempt the maneuver, he gets hit out of nowhere with a cutter, which was been given by Diamond Dallas Page, of course. But then turning around, cuts him right in the middle of the ring, and this is where he slides out of the ring. That's where then he showed him like what he's gonna do this Saturday, which is tomorrow. But you know the statistics, just like some of the wrestlers, except for John Moxley, unfortunately, like whoever stands up at the upper hand is gonna be losing at the pay-per-view, even on 0 hour with Mr. Marshall here. But this is where we got a vignette of Private Party and House of Black, Outrunners, and The Acclaim, like in their 4-way match, like who's gonna be the ones who's gonna walk out at Newark, New Jersey, as the AEW Tag Team Champions. Like, let me know about that in the comments. But this is where we got Jay White then came in in the ring because he had a match against what's his name against what's his name? Butcher, the Butcher, yeah, of course. But I'm about to think like what got the match of the night. I totally forgot again. I have to give Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa as much as I'm not much of a huge fan, but it's not how I feel. It's what you assassinators feel, of course. So I'm gonna have to give them praise for that, even though like I'm not haters of theirs, but they just kind of creep me out with their shimmies and their other dance moves. But yeah, like you never know what to predict about them. But anyways, nothing to hate about them, of course. But yeah, but yeah, I got to give him the second place spot. While number one, what the number one? What is the main event? No, you know what? Since this match was the only intriguing out of the rest of the matches, I have to give it the number one. Silver. Give it the gold trophy of the night. Why not? Yeah, I have to give us the gold trophy. Give it credit when credit's due. While the main event gets the silver trophy because it's just wasn't that much of a spark as the main event would. Like any main event match would, like any match that looks important. But anyways, this is where we got Juice Robinson against the Butcher. And since there's not that much other matches, this gets the bronze trophy. For entertainment, this is where we got the Butcher then recommends him to leave in the ring. This is where Juice Robinson is like, why do I need to leave when I have a chance of winning a match, adding another match on my collection of wins to prove a statement. Like, don't underestimate me. Like, and I'm not no weakling or Jay White's Blackie that always carrying his bags. Like, much rather the opposite. And even Switchblade even knows that himself. I'll say the tank. I'll say the juiceful tank. Like, will let him loose. Like. And I'm not sure if I should have described it that way, but you get what I'm trying to say. But this is where we got Juice Robinson to go for a headlock onto what's his name? The Butcher. This is where Butcher then try to Irish whip him to the left side, actually. This is where he tried to outsmart him. He managed to do so at first, shoulder tackling him. That's where the Butcher goes to the right side. Then he but this is where when Juice Robinson slide ducks underneath him, goes to the left side. This is where he leapfrogs. This is where he try to go for a hip toss. This is where we got what's his name? Butcher knees him right to the midsection, clotheslining him. This is where then Butcher was like, all right, like I got him down, like like who wants to see me slaughter him up like if he's a human hog? This is where this is where the fans was like, no, we don't want to see him like that. Like he's more of liquid like Orange Cassidy rather than being solid. But this is where then we got. But this is where we got the Butcher start going for knife edge chops. This is where then he needed him right. The mistake drug over right hand. This is where he sent him right to the outside after he hit that maneuver. This is where then he collected Juice Robinson, sent him right to the left side upper corner barricade of Barry's tombstone. This is where he hit him with a leg drop, but that didn't put him away. This is where we got him doing more moves in the offense position, like once it was on picture-in-picture and the most fully powerful force in all of professional wrestling, the commercial break. This is where we got Juice Robinson going for a running senton. This is where then we got Juice Robinson like they go for a pin, but this is where Aubrey was only counted to 2 even. This is where we got the referee got the shoulder up. This is where Juice Robinson he's gonna kick out with those plenty of this maneuver. This is where he gets sent right to the bottom left side. This is where we got Juice Robinson hit the left arm clothesline, knocking him down right into the bottom left corner of the turnbuckle. This is where we got what else he did during this match. But this is where Juice Robinson went for his comeback move. This is where then what move he hit like for the end, like after he hit that big left hand of a clothesline, going at it with the Butcher of almost a wrestling tennis. This is where Juice Robinson hits that DDT flatline maneuver. Just like similar to stuff like maneuver kicks like back and forward or maneuver. This is where it goes for a 1, 2, 3, and then the winner of this match, Juice Robinson. And then he went go with the juice out of his squirty gun that he got from Christmas last year, I guess you could say. This is where we move on to the next slide, which is the backstage segment, which is the interview with Lexi Nair with Thunder Rosa. And then this is where then she then asked, like she got. This is where she said, like, it's a very excited moment for her, for Full Gear, was it? Like, yeah, what was it that she gonna be doing? Like, there was no, it's gonna be an all Lucha Rampage. That's what it's gonna be for next week's Rampage. It's gonna be all luchador, so make sure to check that out. Like next week, like it's gonna be like the day after Thanksgiving, the same night as the go-home edition of the other company show, like on their pay-per-view. But this is where we got remember Thunder Rosa was like, yeah, I'm absolutely excited about this moment. Like for me getting to compete in this match, like with any luchadors, like any female luchador that would step up with her nickname that she says in Spanish, which I cannot pronounce right now, but this is where this just starts the naming the names. But this is where we got one particular luchador that we haven't seen before. Heck, Thunder Rosa haven't seen this luchador women's wrestler. This is where she was like, she was like, and this is where we saw like it was. She called herself Harley Graham, I believe that's what she called him, Harley Graham, yeah, or something like that. Like this is where it was clearly Harley Cameron in a hologram mask that she must have bought from AEWshop.com, or like in the stands, like backstage, like they have in the front entrance, I don't say backstage. I mean the front stage, not front stage, the front entrance, I should say. Yeah. This is where Thunder Rosa pointed out that she looks very familiar, and she was like, well, no, you look very similar. Like you look like a wrestler that I just beat like a couple weeks ago. Like I don't know when. And this is where Harley Cameron said like she does not recall. Like I believe that she said in Spanish. Like, of course, is where Thunder Rosa was like okay, and she was like, how about Harley? Like I have enough of your fun and games, playing dress up and mocking me right now. Like how about you and I next week in this all lucha match? In this all lucha show, all lucha matches show. I'm gonna jag out your cord and then And then she's like, and I'm gonna make you choke you up. And this is where Hardy came like, oh, shut up, Thunder. Like this is where like I'm full of the danger, and you should be aware from me. This is where Lexi Nair was like, and this is where she looked like about to ask a question, but before she could even do so, this is where she out of this where Thunder was like, she really just did this. So this all I was like, yep, I'm afraid so. And that was, totally a sign of disrespect. But let's expect one thing from the former AEW Women's Champion, that she's gonna give her a beating that she's never gonna seem to forget, like even triple times more than she gave her like the first time, than the last time they met in the square circle. Well, let's move on to the next slide. But let me know about that in the comment section right down below. And this is where we got a vignette with Ricochet, like I'm saying, like the last time we met, Takeshita, like I beat you and you got the belt that I wanted, and that is the International Championship. And then it's where they build things up for that match, and what are your thoughts on to them having the future, and most importantly, when it's going to be, like what specific day are they going to be having this contest? It's going to be like on an episode of AEW Dynamite or Collision, or even on the next PLE, or not PLE, pay-per-view, which is going to be at World's End, which is probably going to be the last time, but it's going to be exclusively on Bleacher Report or wherever you get your pay-per-views from. And it's gonna be the full move, the max, probably the first pay-per-view of the year, probably for AEW Wrestle Dynasty, which they're gonna be in Tokyo Dome, but we're gonna be talking about that when that day comes in January 2025. But we're going to be talking about what just happened tonight, continuing, what is going to be the conglomeration against the Dark Order, which start things off with Mark Briscoe and John Silver. And they shook hands to show some respect, which they confirmed. They did another confirmation, I should say, with Dark Order turning babyface. I mean, even it doesn't take a genius or some kind of a wrestling enthusiast just to know that the Dark Order are babyfaces. Unless you're unaware, that when John Moxley and his group, the Death Riders, gave a very horrible beating onto them, which they had no choice but to turn into back in good guys. But this is where we got. This is where they go for go for a grapple. This is where then we got John Silver go for a headlock. This is where we got Mark Briscoe to try to put some up right to the top. Dip him right there, went to the bottom, try to go for shoulder tackle, but John Silver showed his strength. He's like, don't let the size fool you. When it comes to height, because I'm more strong, more in muscle rather than in height. This is where then he flexed his guns. This more likely he's more bigger in muscles rather than height. Let me rephrase that. That saying. This is where then he runs to the right side. This is where we got Mark Briscoe and Doug. This is where it goes for an arm drag, but this is where we got John Silver did the same to Mark Briscoe. This is where we got Mark Briscoe trips over John Silver. He jumps right on top of him, but this is where John and kick out of it. This is where we got both him and Mark Briscoe got back up, but he gets tripped right over. This is where we got Mark Briscoe step back. Or I will use my redneck kung fu, and I hope I don't sound offensive for saying that, because it's Mark Briscoe's words, and that's probably the only person that will probably take this as a compliment, because of course this is his move that he does, chop, punch, and all that stuff. Is where we got Mark Briscoe go for a headlock, but he ends up throwing him right to the right side. That's where we got what's his name? John Silver doing a leap dodge, but this is where Mark Briscoe go for a sliding duck, if he was a certain former trombone playing guy that has his own YouTube show called Up, Up, Down, Down. This is where we got Mark Briscoe going for the cream kick, his own version of the Briscoe style, I guess you could say. This is where Mark Briscoe, if you want it, and then this is where John Silver was oh, I want something, all right. And this is where he's but I want the dark and gothic kung fu style, and this is where Mark Briscoe well, wherever you used to, you're more welcome using it. This is where John Silver did immediately start showing some demonstrations, even this back spinning kick that looked like Rob Van Dam's Van Daminator. This is where he's he does have some, the little fella has some moves. This is where Mark Briscoe looked at right in the camera, which we can all agree with him on that one. This is where I'll say at least when it comes to talking about John Silver, this is where Mark Briscoe to start going for a chop. But this is where we got Evil Uno must have been bored or something, because this is where he started getting agitated and irritated, and he attacks him from behind. This is where the referee was like, why did you do that for? This is where John Silver even starts scolding him by saying, like, except in the calm way, he was like, do you really have to do that? Like, you should have at least waited until I brought him over here and then tag him. This where then he did that, and this where he finally started hitting some axe handles right to the back of Mark Briscoe. This where they start going for a triple team with all three men, both Mark with Alex Reynolds and Evil Uno and Johnson. And after when it was all three of them doing their double team strikes onto the former Ring of Honor champion, this is where we got both Evil Uno and Alex Reynolds then go for a double sandwich clothesline on team, one on the back and one on the front, which Excalibur calls it the sandwich lariat, because that's the other term to use, other than clothesline, like when you're talking about